Mr. Professional.
Hey everybody, it's Tyler from Valve News Network. How you guys doing today? Today's pretty fun. I'm gonna get to play TF2 with a hero of mine, Mr. Faliszek, Mr. Chet Faliszek himself, co-writer of Portal 1, Portal 2, Half-Life episodes, Left 4 Dead 1, Left 4 Dead 2, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, and like 8,000 things that we'll never know about.
Ask Chet what his favorite Bionicle is, just so I can
So
talk to you
Mr.
with
Faliszek, how are you today?
And to Chet himself, thank you.
Okay,
for
but
all
like as I
your
was saying
time.
before you
Love
went on
so
air and you
very.
were trying to muffle me,
I'm sorry.
really, you've got to give Eric the credit for Portal 1 and Eric and Jay the credit for Portal 2. I did co-op on Portal 2, but those guys really, like the cave speech is Jay's, and it's just amazing. And the first time I heard that, it's one of those things you just can't stop laughing.
So for those that are unaware of who Mr. Faliszek is, where he came from, Mr. Faliszek painted houses in Ohio for a while also working on a website that's quite legendary nowadays called Old Man Murray. Good friend of John Romero back in the day. And through Old Man Murray and a lot of other things that are going on, I'm skipping a lot, became friends with Gabe Newell. Faliszek, Chet here, as well as his writing partner, co-writer, co-whatever on Old Man Murray, Eric Wolpaw, was hired to Valve in late 04. It was after Half-Life 2 shipped, right? Oh,
yeah, correct. They already done the hard work and the good stuff. We just rode in on their cattails. And I've never heard my name said this many times in a row before.
Well, what were you
Kind
expecting?
Well, because people just call me Chet.
Mr. Faliszek then worked at Valve for 12 years, working on all of your favorite games. Did you work on Team Fortress 2 at all?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Me and Eric, I don't think Jay was there yet. So this is me and Eric. It was a lot of fun. It was actually so we had just a little background is so episode 1 I worked on and shipped. Eric wasn't there for that for health reasons. And it was that where I kind of learned the response rule stuff. And so as we started up on the orange box, which was, Portal, Team Fortress, and episode 2, actually my very first job, let's go back, was I made the David Defeat source website.
Oh, really?
I said the website,
Okay.
I said the website sucked. And so someone there said, well, then just make it. And I was like, oh, okay, I should have shut up. So then episode 1, I got this stuff. It was going pretty well. And as we started on Orange Box, we had really started playing with the response rules. And we wanted to bring that into a multiplayer game. So that was TF2. And that was kind of the first time that we could do that. You hear all the taunts back and forth and, kind of all that really reactive speech.
Sure.
And that was for TF2. But it was during that time that I played Left 4 Dead for the first time. And at the time, it was a PvP kind of really hardcore game. But it was also like, oh, my God, this is amazing. And Gabe was like, well, if it's amazing, why don't you go work on it? Well, because it's not a Valve game. And I'm already working on this other thing. And he's like, well, that's cool. Go down there. So we went down there. And actually, the very first email we sent to Mike Booth was, we're not good at game design, but we're good at efficiency. So we're going to reduce your staff by 10%. Oh, God, we were dicks. We'd never met him at that point. We went down there and then, just started working on Left 4 Dead. And so I did Left 4 Dead and Orange Box and then, concentrated on Orange Box to ship it. And then went back to Left 4 Dead, and then Left 4 Dead 2, and then Left 4 Dead 2, a lot of DLC, and then Portal 2. I was really just talking with Jay and Eric and hanging out in the writer's room to crack myself up, and then, or they cracked me up, and then the co-op side was having problems, so I took that over. That was fun. They were great because I was going through a hard time then. Cat just got diagnosed with cancer, my first cat. So Jay and Eric would just crack me up every morning and put me in a good mood. So it was pretty amazing to have that funny of people putting you in a good mood. And then after that, I guess there's some stuff we don't talk about. Then there's CSGO. And then CSGO was fun. CSGO, we tried something new for voice. I'm just going to dump it all right now. We actually, instead of hiring people from different voice actors to do voices, we actually hired local nationals. So everybody's recorded around the world, which means you have to get up at 3 a.m. sometimes to record people. That was fun. And then did some VR stuff.
And then you went to Bossa for a short time.
Went to Boston for a brief period. Yeah, I still love those guys. Still friends, but that just wasn't a good fit. So, and now I started Stray Bombay with Dr. Kimberly Vole, the smartest
Riot.
person I know. She was at Riot at that point, yes. And so
And
then
at Stray, you're making Left 4 Dead 3.
we are making a 4-player co-op game.
So
That is what we are making, but it is not, we are on our own, making our own IP. I'm a big fan of original IP, and kind of, we don't copy pop culture, we make it. So the goal is to get people to tattoo the characters from the game on their bodies. That's always the weird thing where you're like, what the hell are you doing, man?
Do you have any tattoos?
No.
Good. Okay, cool. So in case you're unaware,
tattoos are bad for you. I'll officially say that. I'll take that controversy.
Good. I completely agree. In case you're unaware, Chet and I are from the same area of Ohio. Chet grew up around this. I'm from Youngstown.
Really?
He's from more Cleveland. Yeah.
Hello, Ty.
So
Youngstown that he is personally
Columbus is the weird college town big thing.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, Youngstown's
but
just
I have a feeling he's the mastermind behind it.
It's just a really shitty place.
Anywhere
No, it
that
is,
isn't
yeah.
like Columbus or Cincinnati is kind of garbage.
All right, we're here for Creators.TF. Mr. Faliszek is quite confused on exactly what the hell we're doing.
Why? How is this just not community maps?
Okay, so on the
such a
website, if you take a look at it, we have a lot of extra features built into it.
You have a lot of nice art. Very nice work. Whoever's doing that, by the way.
I'm sure they will very much appreciate it. So on the website, we have everything is free, by the way, before I say anything here. We don't make any money from this. But we have our own workshop, our own economy, our own store, custom weapons, custom cosmetics, custom contracts. We ship our own updates within our own server ecosystem. Because effectively what happened was following Jungle Inferno, which I know shipped after you had left Valve, there hadn't been another big Team Fortress 2 update in, we're going on over 3 years now. So there had been a void left by Valve with still a game that's in the top 10 of Steam, right? So myself pitched this idea to any community creators out there that may be able to possibly do this, of a group of servers to effectively create server plugins using source mod and meta mod that allow you to just do what Valve isn't doing anymore. And we do that. So if you go onto the website, we have a contractor where based on what map you're playing or what class you're playing, you can do different quests, like a battle pass almost. Through those quests, you unlock coins and keyless cases that then allow you to unlock any of the items within our own economy. Those items only work on our server, but they're connected to your Steam account through our website backend. So, Chet, I do have to ask, for my own egotistical reasons, what do you know of me? Because you keep saying, like, you know, like how people should be able to kill me. Does my reputation precede me that much?
No, I have no idea.
For
all I know, you've hired a pro gamer to play as you today because you suck so bad.
It's true.
Just,
So
you can dominate.
You got me.
I mean, I'm like 50-50 that is a truth. So.
It's completely off topic, unrelated to anything maybe related to you. Are you aware of the game Superliminal?
Yeah.
Or have you played that one?
Those guys are from Seattle, man. It's Pillow Castles.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you like that game? Like the weird Portal-esque thing that we're doing there?
Yeah, well, it's not Portal-esque. It's its own thing. It's the size scaling thing. There's a bunch of people trying to make those different scaling games, and I think they're just the first ones out. So, I think it would be interesting to see if that makes that genre kind of take off, or where that goes.
Scaling could be a genre, really.
Well, the scaling game, because there's a bunch of those, right? But they had this thing where they were just never coming out.
Yeah.
And I think because some of the problem is that it's hard to make it fun.
Okay.
Right, like there can be cool puzzle mechanics, but then how do you make it fun, or how do you make it where you're just not repeatedly doing the exact same thing every time, right? That's one of the cool things with having the tools really accessible, is someone can see something and go like, oh, I want to do something like that. you know, if you think about Valve, they're it's really a company built by a lot of modders,
Nice.
like, you know,
In
Robin
a big
Walker and
fan of
everybody comes from
Half-Life.
the history of modding. But now, like, that whole history of modding Quake 2 games is kind of not the same thing. And what you see a lot of is just people, you know, rolling up something of their own in Unreal or Unity or even Godot. The real indie kids go Godot, you know. If you don't eat meat, I don't know why you would make something not with Godot. Not knocking the Godot. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's just whenever you see these conversations about the different engines, right? It's always, yeah, it's interesting.
Are you a vegetarian?
I try not to eat a lot of meat, but I like bacon and I like pigs though. Like, I actually like pigs, so I feel bad. So I eat meat and then feel bad about it.
Okay. I mean, that's better than not, I guess.
It really just means I'm weak. And I want to
I'm a vegetarian.
Feel guilty, I think. Wait, are you vegetarian?
Yeah. I will eat eggs, but I guess I eat vegan at home because she cooks more than I do.
Oh man, I could not live without cheese.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. But
I do not.
I'm a fat ass, so you know, I don't know how that works because I've been vegetarian for like 2 years and I'm still like.
I was about to say, I think you're living proof that
Yeah.
vegetarian isn't about a diet thing.
Something that I wanted to ask you about, and we started talking about it before we started streaming, is the difference between a professional work environment and a volunteer-based work environment and the expectations that exist between the two. You know, to give the viewer context, because I already did explain this to Chet, you know, the team and specifically me have been getting a lot of flack lately for kicking a member of the team for using transphobic slurs during a meeting. Would behavior like that fly in a professional environment, Chet?
No, but I mean, also I know a bunch of community modders as well, and it doesn't fly there either. So, I mean, I think it can happen anywhere, and I think, you know, if you guys handled it and resolved it, that's good. Like, you don't need it, but I don't think it's just because it's modders. I think that's just something that happened there. I've seen a lot of mod teams that haven't had any problems. Not to say that you were the cause of it, you know, or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, definitely in the professional environment, hell no, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you want a diverse team because you want to be able to draw on that so that your game has that kind of texture to it.
Is Stray Bombay a
So
diverse
it's
team?
not, you're not. I mean, you're not even just doing diversity for diversity's sake. You're doing diversity to make the end product a better product.
Sure.
And you do that by having that texture of different backgrounds and people over it. And, you know, you want to be as wide as you can be on that way. I mean, you know, I chose to work with Kim and start the company with Kim because she's the smartest person I know. I mean, the bonus of that is she has a different background than me. She's a different person than me. She's Canadian.
Whoa.
So she's really but yeah, I mean, that's I think you should always be looking for that. If you just get more people that are just like you, it's not as interesting, right? And that's not to say that everybody who physically looks the same is the exact same either, right? Obviously, there's a lot of people, a lot of different backgrounds.
So at Stray, are you doing like your kind of trademark humor writing on the game, or are you kind of like more in charge of director duties and that kind of thing?
Wait, you're clarifying what humor means. So you're saying that it's not actually funny, that there's some kind of limit to what the funny is because it's me? Is that what you're saying?
I'm asking if you're writing on your game, I guess. I just kind of said it in a very roundabout way.
Yes, I am.
Cool.
Yes, I am. We're trying to do some new things there. I'm embracing the idea that we're making a game, not a movie. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. You know, during any creative process, there's good days and bad days, and days you feel like it's coming together, and days you think that it's the worst thing ever. Are you spawn camping?
A little bit.
Steph, come on.
Oh, and that's by the way, if you're in the stream for Tyler, come join our Discord, we do every Wednesday we do a co-op game. We pick one, we all play together, and then every Thursday we do a mod. And then if you are making a mod and you need play testers, Saturday morning we play test people's stuff and give them feedback. They're not allowed to join us; they've got to watch. But you know, we play it and then give them feedback. We did a Left 4 Dead mod just the other day, so that's kind of what we've been doing in our Discord, which has been fun.
Yeah, mods, if you could put the invite link to the Stray Bombay Discord server in the chat so that people can join in. Chat, we're also going to be highlighting this stream down and putting it up on the main channel. So if you're watching the highlight, the invite link to the Stray Bombay Discord server will be down in the description below. It'll be the first link in the video description.
Yeah, and then the other thing we started doing, obviously, was streaming.
Yeah.
And that was
Legit
part of,
question
when
for chat.
Valve first,
I am making a new IP
I think I did the
for
first
HL2 that isn't
company
connected.
web page or
How do I
Facebook
begin a
page,
handle
and then
writing a
first
story for a puzzle-based
Twitter account.
mod?
Like I always like to
Let's
try
okay.
these things because I don't understand them, and it's I think you can't just look at them or watch somebody else do it. You need to do it yourself, and you understand like, oh, that's cool when someone does this, or oh man, that's a pain in the ass, or whatever it is.
Sure.
And so yeah, so we've been doing that as well, which has been fun. Again, because I like interacting with the community, and so getting to hang out and play stuff and stream has been good.
Can you ask Chet about his role in virtual reality evangelism and how he feels about the state of modern VR at Valve, Oculus, Facebook?
Chasing too far back. So no, that was fun. You know, I was not like the crazy VR guy before I got there. But then they invited me down, and really my first 3 months on the team was sitting in the corner watching other people play and kind of listening to them, and you know, really picking up like people like Doug Church, who was there at the time, Michael Abrash, you know, and just really listening to them and learning so much. And then you know, getting to go out, and it wasn't all you know, it was a really fun time of getting to travel the world and talk with people and help people out, and met a lot of people that are still friends today, which is like one of the weird things now because of the damn pandemic. It's like a whole group of people I just don't see anymore.
All right.
But at the time, you know, we did a lot of things that started really thinking. I think a lot of those people helped me think a little more clearly about like roles in the community and how to think about interaction and engagement, and what does success look like in there. So things like, you know, I would never go on a panel that didn't have some diversity on the panel. So, and that wasn't because like I was filling it with not apt people. It was just like, hey, I've got this Rolodex of devs that I know, but you know, I can expand that out. And there's a whole bunch of great developers out there. And so yeah, that was fun. And the current state, I mean, I think, you know, it's depressing to see that you have to tie your Oculus account to your Facebook account and all of that. I'm clearly not a fan of that stuff. So that's a bummer. But you know, there's other people making headsets still. It's definitely had a rough time growing. We were always trying to be honest with devs back then, being honest of like saying, hey, this is going to be a slow roll, man. Hang on. You know, one of the problems with Facebook making that big giant investment of $2 billion, it really distorted the market so that it couldn't grow naturally. And you really have this problem where if you have somebody injecting money into a market, and that market isn't about paying people to buy your game, but you're essentially being paid to make the game, you're gonna get into this dangerous point where you're making stuff that's better than what the market can support. And so when the person paying you stops paying you or decides some other strategy, it's all going to go under. And I mean, the video game industry is littered with the corpses of developers that got caught in that loop of always having to move on to the next thing, and that next thing was never really the thing that was selling. So you know, I worry about that a lot still.
Did you ever have a big pink cookie, Chet?
No, I'm not. I do not like those cookies. I should say I don't like those cookies. Those cookies are fine cookies. That was Eric's thing, not mine.
For Christmas last year, my wife got in contact with the woman who does all the cooking for Valve. And she developed a recipe for the big pink cookies for Christmas this year for me. Yeah.
You need to branch out a little bit, man. That's a little creepy.
I didn't do it. My wife did.
Well, Like, so what? Are your kids gonna go do like, get them to like some Bethesda stuff or something? I don't know.
I love Bethesda stuff. I do a lot of other stuff. It's just Valve is what pays the bills.
All right.
Yeah, I know too much about Valve for my own good.
It's weird that because people get so obsessed that they'll know essentially more than I know about it because I've forgotten. Because in my mind, it's this continuum, right? Like I'm working like Left 4 Dead and the beta version. I honestly can't remember what was in the beta version or not because it was a continuum to me of like, oh, we're fixing bugs. Did you know I used to have to carry around a version of a driver for a very specific NVIDIA card that we'd have to roll back the drivers to that because it crashed on anything else?
I have heard that before, yeah.
Like, it was just like a crazy buggy mess. So yeah, we were changing it all the time to fix that shit. And at some point it stopped being the beta. I don't remember when. We never had those kind of distinctions.
Well, yeah, I mean, beta in the obsessive community jargon is like anything that was cut from the game at any time. Like it's not really like truly what a game's development beta means. So like everybody will call anything that leaked from Half-Life 2 the beta, even though like most of that stuff would have never been considered a beta to begin with. I don't know what it is about Valve's cut content, but that has such an insane fan base for it. Like the original Survivor variations from Left 4 Dead 1. I'm sure you get bothered about that stuff all the time.
Yeah, it's stuff like that. That's what I'm saying is like, I know the changes we made. I remember like, especially like, Lewis, I like so much more when he's bright and cheerful than the dark, gritty version. But I also get why they did the dark, gritty version at first. And, it's like I said, it's a continuum of fixing and changing things. So, but I'll see that often in other communities of stuff I do play. And everybody has these attachments to something that they are playing that they have the focus on. So they're going to be like, oh, this little part of the game means a lot to me. And they may not have the overall, and where we're juggling this overall. And so that's a lot of, I think, what happens there.
Well, I mean, you are ultimately very intimately involved with probably the community's favorite thing that Valve never did. Actually, I'll ask you, what do you think in your from your perspective is the favorite thing that you guys never did from the community's perspective?
Like that we never did?
Yeah, but like is like kind of general knowledge.
Like, are we talking release a game that they want, or?
Okay, never mind. So yeah, like probably the thing that's most discussed in this community is the f-stop stuff, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would not have guessed that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny because it went from, you and Eric doing that post-mortem at GDC and just kind of mentioning it and being like, we're never going to talk about it because we might use it one day too. Pretty much everybody knows what it is now. And there are many different iterations of it in the community, and people have been trying to rebuild it for years and all that kind of stuff. But ultimately, like, it was the right decision for you guys as the development team to make the decisions that you did end up making. So, like, as a professional that is very intimately familiar with the actual, like, it is your job to make games, game development process. What is your, like, what kind of emotions does that make you feel that people may be more, like, fond of something that never happened or something that they never even actually got to play?
I think you don't understand. I don't think you understand the scale of the games that get released if you think that's the most popular thing ever.
Okay.
Like, I think that is a very small number of people compared to people that play the games that have been released.
Oh, I'm just talking in like this community itself, like not necessarily like the greater gaming landscape or anything like that, obviously.
I'm not sure why would I have opinion one way or the other in the sense of like people get obsessed about something, and someone pointed out in the Twitch stream. Whoops. People do this on all games, right? Yeah, and so they get tied up and caught up and excited about one thing. That's cool. I mean, whatever. But I don't think, like to your point, I don't think we've ever thought of it that way or thought it was that big thing. Like, oh my God, there's so much misery because we didn't do the biggest thing that everyone's always wanted. Because I don't think that's necessarily true. You know,
So
again,
it's
the
kinda
scale,
just a feedback loop
like
within it.
Left 4 Dead, you're talking like 25, 30 million copies sold
Yeah.
compared to something like, you know, 100 people in a forum. Again, you want to respect those 100 people in the forum and their feelings and their excitement or whatever is super valuable, but that's not the scale that you're looking at to say, hey, this is the most important thing. We should be working on this because everything else I've worked on means nothing because, oh my God, we didn't do this one thing.
Sure. I mean, no
That's what I'm-
disrespect in asking
No,
that
no,
question.
Yeah, it's fine.
What productivity or team management tools do you use at your studio, Straight Bombay, Chet?
What do you actually mean by those tools?
I'm not entirely sure. I'm reading the question verbatim. What productivity/team tools do you use at Stray Bombay?
I'm not a. That's a weird question. I mean, like for bugs, like something like Jira. That definitely is a tool we use. I mean,
guys use,
otherwise,
like,
I
Trello,
think everybody's got
or-
some version of video chat software that they have, and depending on who you're talking to, really gonna be the version you run there. I mean, I don't think there's nothing special. It's more really how we communicate and think about giving people ownership of what they're working on, and making sure that, you know, they can own something, they can be creative, and they have ownership over what they're doing in the whole company. I think that to me is way more of a concern than what, I don't know, CRM or I don't know, whatever the hell we're using. So that's a lousy answer. How do you like that?
Well, follow-up question to that of my own then. For those that know you more from your work at Valve Software, how does Stray Bombay differ as a company, other than its size?
I don't think there's ever any set big company philosophies. I mean, I think we work often in very similar ways and try to, you know, I mean, I think the biggest thing both companies do really well together is that you understand the difference between tools and goals. Often when I talk to young developers, they get confused and get caught up in their tools. They're really excited about tools they made versus the end goal of what they're trying to make. And you kind of get over that by having design pillars that you're going for. So if you're making a co-op game, co-op is the winner. So if you do some design and it's like, this gets everybody to split up and run away like crazy, well, that's a bad design choice, right?
So what kind of advice would you give to a person trying to write an original story for a new IP in a video game?
Well, just first write all the time, share what you write. You're not a writer because you say you're a writer because you write. So write. Writing is the least fun part about writing, but still you have to do it.
What does that mean?
Actually sitting there and blank page in front of you and having to put words on the page is my least favorite part. But you know, that is definitely a part you have to do. Oh shit, hang on. But so to that end, every game's different. Every game you should look at entirely different. Don't ape what someone else is doing. Know your medium, what the game's about, and make the story match that. And play the game. Play the game a lot. As a writer, I will play the game more than anybody else. I've played more than anybody else every project I've worked on.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, awesome. You learned about Superliminal. You should. Good. Yeah, Superliminal is a good game. See, look at that, Chris. I have to cut that clip out for Chris. So one copy of it at a time for him. Another question: how much do you read, Chet? I read so I read one book a month pretty much, and I listen to one book a month. A little less lately because I haven't been going for my walks where I listen to books. Try to read one thing of fiction and one thing of nonfiction. A lot of business books or kind of HRE idea books so I'm not screwing up the people who work in our company. I am currently reading Americana, which is about capitalism in America, and I'm rereading The Road.
I'm just gonna list off a few games, and I'd like to know your opinion of them if you've played them, as like almost like the VR evangelist for so long. And I know how you were very never move the player at when you were at Valve.
But a pistol whip does that, and it's freaking awesome.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So there is, clearly eating my words on that one.
But then what does pistol whip do differently to justify moving the player?
Consistent movement. It's like a whole bunch of how they're keeping you busy and consistent movement. Yeah. Like if you were warping in and out at different speeds, that would be a different beast altogether.
So have you tried Boneworks?
Yeah. Yeah, those guys are really good as well. Originally met them when they were working with a team that was making like this body impact suit in VR that then tracked the whole body. And it didn't really work that well, but I really liked those guys and they were really smart. So we just kind of kept in touch, and then really cool stuff.
Boneworks is kind of like the antithesis to the player idea.
Yeah, and definitely like in those kind of games, I will get like I have to limit. Even oddly enough, Alex, there's a point where I wasn't feeling well. I realized it was because it was how I was teleporting too often and moving my head around too much. I'm sensitive.
And there's no shame in that. Everybody's different. VR is a very new platform even today. We still don't really understand comfort in being able to push the envelope.
But I do think some of that, I worry, is what makes it so niche right now, is because the movement stuff has been so embraced that for a while, that's a non-starter.
Okay.
Like it's hard to say, hey, I'm going to put this thing on my head I could possibly get sick in, and then not want to do anything the rest of the day.
Okay. Yeah, I think so.
There's a really bad version of that. I won't say the piece of hardware, but somebody made me stick my head in a piece of hardware that was not ready for prime time. And normally, like your vision in VR, you're either focused way far in the distance, or you're focused very close, or you have just straight no focus. This focused out, so that when I took it off, it had unfused my vision, meaning I had two distinct visions out of each eye that my brain was trying to process. And my brain was like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. And it about killed me, man.
Everybody go follow Chet on Twitch if you're watching it on my end. It's twitch.tv/straychet, STRAY Chet, CHET.
Or even the better thing is join our Discord, because our Discord, we play co-op and mods all the time. And if you are a creator and you need play testers, we do observe play tests where you're not allowed to play. You're allowed to watch the stream. We talk about your game as we play it, and then we all meet up after and talk about it. It's kind of how we do our play tests these days.
Oh yeah. What do you think was the biggest thing you learned at Valve? Like, what was your biggest, like, I'm wrong kind of moments, like the biggest humbling moment for you?
Oh God, there's not one. I'm dumb. There was a bunch of smart people there. It's just their approach was really smart, and I think I learned to slow down.
Okay.
Gather more information, right? They're really good just about looking at the whole thing and raising your head up, stopping and raising your head up. Like Gabe was so good about beating me up for not doing that on different things, and being like, did you think of this? I'm like, well, no. And it's like, well, but I'm like, yeah, now that you say it, dude, it's obvious. So sure, I should have thought of that, but and so not being able to rely on that. And then also the other part of that is just like getting stuff done. Just don't be scared of getting stuff done. Like, I like to ship stuff.
You like to ship stuff, but you worked at Valve after Portal 2. Burn. Got him. I had to say it.
We can go through the whole list of things that I made while I was there.
No, I know.
Made a lot of shit.
It's kind of it's funny. You said like, oh, there was a lot of smart people there. They were all teaching me stuff. Like, everybody I've talked to has the same response like that. Like, everybody was smart except for me. Everybody was teaching me those things. Is that part of like what they look for? Is like a very humbled opinion of themselves, or?
No, I mean, I think it is really the thing of you learn really quickly that it's that group thinking about it
Okay.
that gives you way more insight than whatever dumb thing you had in your head is if you get a bunch of people in the room and they start talking about it and working it out together and have an understanding of, goals versus tools and really concentrating on it. Yeah, it just.
Well, Chet, thank you very much for spending some time with us tonight.
Hey, thank you for sharing this. Now it's fun to go through all of that. And man, you guys have the craziest ass system. Like, hats off to you guys on pulling that off to be able to do all the contracts and the gear and holy hell, man.
Thank you.
That's a lot of
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we're just a small team of people that really like TF2. So it's great to hear that a legit professional that knows what the fuck he's talking about thinks it's a cool thing. Yeah, it was cool to be able to show it off. It was cool to be able to play it with you for a couple hours tonight. Yeah, I mean, I hope you have a good rest of your week. I hope you and your family staying safe. I hope everybody's able to.
Let's be honest. We all hope Joe Biden wins.
Let's hope Joe Biden wins. Yeah.
All right, man. I'm gonna play some rock paper shotgun to end it. Yeah, no, same. And again, we play co-op games every Wednesday night and mods every Thursday. So if anyone wants to join us, we normally open the servers up so we're all playing. It's just not a select group, but we mix it all up that way. And then yeah. And again, if you're a modder and want someone to play test your stuff, it's just not me. It's a whole group of people will jump on and do it, which is fun.
Yeah.
So don't be scared to share your shit. It's time to let other people play it.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So, all right. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks. Stay safe. All that. Wear a mask.
Wash your hands.
And good night.
Social distance. All right. Talk to you later, Chet. Bye-bye.
Wait, Tyler?
Yeah, what's up?
When the pandemic's over, do we stop washing our hands?
Yes.
All right. There you go. I was wondering about that.
Yeah.
Good to know. All right. Thanks.
All right. See ya.
All right. Bye.
Bye.